assistant manager to Mario Strad, aka T, the best manager in the country. And he's looking to give us a little analysis on this 56-65 Wagner victory we had this past Thursday. T, thanks for coming on. How you doing, man?
Thanks for having me. I'm great.
Cool. Well, the people love you all around campus, and when, as a manager for the Sacred Heart men's basketball team, we love having your input and, getting your feel and ideas for what you see out there and whatnot. And I think we take another look at what was going on out there. So, Wagner, Sacred Heart, two different play styles. Wagner's very physical. We're more of a finesse, get up and down, run. What did you see out there during this past Thursday game?
This past Thursday game tested our physicality because this is the team back down from anything. We stood up to everything, and I just knew we were going to win because we were so locked in.
For sure. I mean, when you talk about physicality, it's hard to play with a team that is constantly bumping you, and that's just our identity of how they play. And I think a big reason why we were able to gut it out was because we kept playing through the contact and whatnot. Obviously, not every foul could be called, and that's something in basketball that you could kind of determine yourselves and within your team's identity. If you're, a team that plays hard, the reality is there can't be a foul called every possession. So I think, it's a great approach that they take and something we could take out of their book just because, they play so hard and, you have to continue and let the game happen. So
Right.
I think that was well said by you. It was back and forth for most of the game. Was there any moment where you were just like, okay, things are rolling, we're going to get this one done?
I feel like when we locked in on defense for like 4 straight possessions and they didn't score for 4 straight possessions and we kept scoring and we went on like a 12-0 run, and we kept going on that run, and we go up as big as 15. And I just knew we were going to win because we were so locked in. We knew what we were doing. Everyone was talking to each other on the court, and Wagner just looked very confused at what we were doing.
Yeah, I think like you said, I think on the court, you saw that. I also feel the exact same way. I think we rattled them a little bit just with, our consistent effort and energy, and I think that being able to really deflate them with stops really allowed us to go on a bit of a run just because it's hard in basketball when the other team is playing so hard on defense and making you work to score and you keep missing, and then they're coming down and they're scoring on you. So I think that turning point, which was around the 15-minute mark of the second half, really opened it up for us. And from there, like you said, I think we had that game. It was our game to lose at that point, and I think we really took advantage of that. That being said, they did make a little bit of a comeback. What were you thinking when that was going on? What did you see that was working for them? What wasn't working for us? How did you see that they were able to come back when we were in control?
Well, the only reason why they made a run is because we were out of sync for 2 minutes, and 2 minutes is a lot of time. You could change the game. You could change the perspective of the game, and that run just really tested us to see how we're going to respond to it. If we're going to keep letting them score, or are we going to just settle down and lock in and say this is still our game. We're not going to lose this game.
Right, 100%. And you talk about runs. That's something that's a big term in basketball. I don't know if any other sport uses it as much as basketball, but just what's the importance of things like having these runs or having energy? Just what's the importance of having those in a basketball game when the objective is to score the ball? How come that's such a big part of the game itself?
The reason why the game of basketball is called the game of runs is because you can have a run, your opponent can have a run. It's just how you're going to respond. If you guys have a run, that means you're going to have all the energy. You're going to be feeling good about yourself. And if the other team is going to have a bigger run than you, you just got to respond with more energy so you guys can make another run. You guys can retaliate.
Definitely. I think you hit it right on the head. I think, runs happen because energy becomes contagious. I think when everything's flowing in your way, a big play happens or whatnot, it contagiously, I don't even know if that's a word, excuse me if I'm wrong, but I think it flows throughout everyone and it gets everyone going, and it just, for whatever reason in the game of basketball, it just makes things easier. I don't know as a player why that happens, but when a big play happens or whatnot, you could just feel that energy shift in your favor, and it's really an exciting thing. So, yeah, I think that's something that a lot of people that watch or aren't as familiar with the game don't realize, and that's the fact that teams could win games because of energy just all coming their way, or momentum all building up in the way that they want it to. And sometimes, obviously, you have to put the ball in the basket and score more than the other team, but sometimes the reason why that's able to be possible is because of that energy and whatnot. So, yeah, I think, like you said, it's great to have. And we definitely had the better energy that game. I think you'd agree to that.
I think 100%.
For sure. So, what could we have done better this game? I know we won, right? That's good. It's momentum. We're coming in on a 2-0 week. That's a good week. Puts us in great positions for the seeding and whatnot. But I think there's always something you could learn from any experience you have. What could we have done better in this game?
From this game, we were up 15, and one player he went on a run by himself.
Mm-hmm.
So honestly, we just if we stopped that one player from scoring 8 in a row,
it was 8. Yeah, it was 8. Yeah.
I think if we stop him from scoring 8 in a row, I think we go up more.
Mm-hmm.
I think we better dictate control of the game more, and we go up maybe 20, maybe stay 15, but I don't think it gets down in single digits, and we just can't let one dude try to take over for his team.
Yeah, and I think credit to the Wagner player. I think it was just a kind of unorthodox approach with how he did it. He would get the rebound and literally take on 1-on-4 guys and make plays. So when that's going on, you gotta sit down and stop that. But I think you're right. We didn't do a good job of keying in on the fact that he was making these big plays, and we didn't do a good job of slowing him down. And that can relate back to the defense that we were playing. We had stretches where we were really good, which I'd say was for most of the game, but like these moments where he goes on 8-0 runs by himself, scores 8 quick points by himself, I think that it's important to really refocus and recognize that we need to be better on defense and not have these defensive laps because we're allowing them to stay in these games. So I kind of already said it, what does this win mean for us moving forward?
For us moving forward, it shows that teams that are more physical than us can't beat us if we really respond to it, and we can have low scoring games and still win the game. We score 65 points, but as a team we average like 75.
Right.
And these low scoring games is a mental grind out. Just how much we wanted more, and with this low-scoring game, we wanted it more clearly.
100%, and I think you tapped on it. Just the mental aspect and whatnot is an approach we need to be consistent with every game. I think in basketball, if you believe you're going to win and you're going to play hard and you're going to try your best, I think that goes a long way as well to help you do what you want to do in the game of basketball. So I think. Your input has been great, T. I always love talking about hoops with you.
Thank you for having me.
Of course, man. And I think that'll wrap it up for this segment. I got Tommaso on right now. We're going to talk about Central Connecticut. Like I just mentioned, everyone, I'm now joined with Tommaso Ferraresi, my teammate. How you doing, Tommaso?
Doing good, Bryce. How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. Well, Tommaso brings a great knowledge of basketball as well, and he has a big input on our 69-67 dub over Central Connecticut this past weekend. Right off the bat, Tommaso, I think we get into what was something that we just did better than Central that allowed us to get away with the W.
I believe consistency, since our defense was absolutely our major factor. It was a very low-scoring games. We weren't able to score well the first half, and shots were just